And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show. I'm Grant Wall, joined by Winona State head coach Tom Sawyer. Coach Sawyer, it was not the night that you were looking for Saturday against Minnesota Duluth. Duluth comes in the 9th-ranked team in the nation and was able to come out with a 24-6 victory in front of a packed house here at Verizon Wireless Stadium. So a great atmosphere for college football, but just not the result that I know you and your players were looking for.
Yeah, the night was perfect. Everything about the game was right except our execution. And as we go back through the tape, and we had plenty of opportunities. We had some wide open kids. We just didn't get the ball to, or they dropped a couple. So we just had those little things that add up when you're playing against the defending national champion. You can't afford to make any mistakes. And we had a couple that really killed us, and we just didn't get going offensively. Disappointed in that because we had been playing pretty well.
And you talk about how great a night it was. We've been talking all year about these late start times, playing underneath the lights, and what type of atmosphere that is. And the fans really have bought into that and showed up for it. A new stadium record, over 5,000 people here in Verizon Wireless Stadium. So a lot of people came out to see a good football game.
Yeah, I think we did. Duluth always travels well. We recruit a lot of the same kids. They have a lot of Wisconsin, Minnesota kids on their roster as well. So, that helps. The defending national champs helps. 6 o'clock helps. And our football program helps. So you take all that, the parking lots were full all the way from here to the IWC, and really a great atmosphere, and the sponsors of the tailgate, all that adds up to a great event. And that's what we've always talked about here, is making sure that our games turn into great day events.
Absolutely. And the one thing that really stuck out from the game as far as an individual performance is concerned has to be Ryan Williams on the defense. 18 tackles, 11 of them solo. He was just wherever the football was, he was there on Saturday night.
Yeah, he missed one that I yelled at him about, but no, he played tremendous. And he got knocked out of the game a week ago and came back from kind of a bell ringer and really did a nice job without getting a lot of practice time last week. So he was excited to play. He plays well in big games, and he showed that he could do that again this week.
Another guy on defense who put up big numbers was Ryan Gertz, a freshman linebacker who I know you've talked about already and are really excited about his potential. He had double-digit tackles as well. As far as the defense was concerned, even though Duluth was able to score 24 points, I thought the defense played very well when you consider the history and the track record that Duluth has of putting points on the board.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought that for sure our offense would have to score 30 to win, and that would have been the case. But, our defense is playing much better. We're starting to fit the 3-4, and it fits our kids, and they're getting a better understanding. What we have to do defensively, though, is we still have to shut down drives. They had over a 7-minute drive. They started out the game with one of those. And so, although they're playing a lot better, we still need them to really shut down some of those third down conversions. And so we've seen a couple weeks in a row where late in the game they put a long drive together, as they did to start the fourth quarter this week.
Offensively took a big hit early. Quarterback Brian Bradshaw going out with an injury, was unable to return. We'll talk to Brian here in a little bit in one of our next segments. But Alex Nelson came in and I thought did a very good job of managing and running the offense and showed the experience that he brings as a senior quarterback.
I feel really good about Alex. He's a fifth-year kid. He's a program guy. He's worked his tail off every single day that he's been here. And I told the team, a kid waits 5 years to get a chance to play. He came in, did his job. And he can even play better than what he did. But I'm just excited for him. One of those guys that has found his way onto the football field by just hard work and dedication, and I'm very excited about that.
Offensively, Theo Burkett scores a touchdown. A real balanced night running the ball. Maybe not the sheer numbers that you put up earlier in the season, but 3 guys, Rayon, Theo, and Curtis, very balanced running the football. Theo gets the lone touchdown of the day for you as well.
Yeah, we didn't run the ball as well as we'd like. If you don't rush the ball for 100 yards in this league, you're not going to win. And we hang our hat on that, and it's something we need to do much better. And it seemed again, that there was like one guy at a time that would make a mistake, and these defensive teams that we're playing right now are going to beat you if you do that. So we've got to stay on the field. You talked about all those tackles those kids hit on defense. Our offense needs to do a better job taking control of the ball. We only had 53 snaps offensively to 80 for Duluth. Anytime you give somebody 80 plays, they're going to put some points on you.
Absolutely, and we'll put this one in our rearview mirror, done talking about it. Look forward next week to Augustana. Another, as you look through the schedule, Mankato, St. Cloud, Duluth. Now another tough game with a really good Augustana team. took their lumps early, started 0-3, now have come back to win 3 in a row and are starting to really play much better as the season goes on.
Yeah, it's going to be tough over there. You know, it's Viking Day or whatever they got going on over there. It's a beautiful place to play. Last time we went there, we played very, very well and beat them at their first loss on their field. So that's something we want to keep the record going. It really is two, I think, evenly matched teams. The team that makes the least amount of mistakes will win the game.
And they were a team who advanced deep into the postseason last year and return a lot of those same players. Going forward now, this game is really going to go a long way. As much as you've struggled the last couple of weeks, you're still in it as far as the NSIC South is concerned. And overall, this game is going to go a long way to determining who's going to win that NSIC South title. How do you get, you probably don't have to work very hard, I should say, to get your guys amped up and going for a game like this?
No, not at all. I mean, you know, we have to do this every week, so there's nothing I can say. We just have to practice more efficiently. We have to make less mistakes. If we can come out and play stress-free, and we have nothing to lose now, you know, and it's a fact of just going there, playing as hard as you possibly can, and good things are going to happen, and I believe that'll happen on Saturday. Absolutely.
Well, we'll be looking forward to it. It's following you as you go out to Sioux Falls to take on Augustana. We will be right back. Alex Kautza and Brian Bradshaw are going to join us next on the Tom Sawyer Show, talk about their experiences on the field and also something that they're working on off the field to benefit others.
Financial startophobia. Fear of financial endeavors causing putting off till the day after tomorrow that which should have been done the day before yesterday.
If you have financial startophobia, I would recommend Merchants Bank. I had a little touch of financial startophobia, had a good recommendation, and went to the bank and had a great experience. Merchants Bank has personal service. I'm not afraid of anything. They've been around for over 130 years. You know who you're dealing with. Merchants Bank, the bank that's service-built.
Are you looking for great off-campus housing? Great River Management and Sales has a large selection of houses and apartments representing many of Winona's property owners. Owners and renters rely on Great River Management. Stop by the Great River Boat at Main and Broadway and see what we can do for you.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show. I'm Steve Carley, your radio voice for Warrior Athletics. Now joining me on the Tom Sawyer Show is special teams coach and wide receivers coach Steve Opignorth. Coach, a tough loss last week, to the defending national champions, the University of Minnesota Duluth. You look at the special teamers and the wide receivers. Now in that ball game, you guys played fairly well, but as standing on the sidelines and looking at it, how do you feel you guys played overall?
Sure. We struggled on offense, which was tough. And wide receivers, we had some big football plays, but we left a lot of plays on the field. Had a couple drops that you can't have, and just missed on some shots as we take them. That you got to have, especially in those big football games. And they were there. We just didn't execute. So that's really the focus on perfecting the execution, getting guys on the same page, and having all 11 players going the same way at the same time.
So as this week progresses through practice, what are you going to really focus on in the wide receiver group this week?
I think it's just kind of paring down our package and doing what we do best. And that's really in our play action game, and then getting back to stretching the defense vertically. Haven't had a lot of success doing it, but now I think we've got some kids in a position where we can use our natural ability and speed to say, hey, we're coming at you vertically with 3, 4, 5 wides, and see where it becomes. And then it's just really focusing on guys making plays. Those 50-50 balls that are up in the air, they got to be ours.
And, your wide receivers, they've seen 3 different quarterbacks so far throughout this season: John Taglin, Brian Bradshaw, now Alex Nelson. How does that affect your wide receivers group? Does that affect with the chemistry or how they perform on the field on Saturdays?
Sure. It does. There's no doubt it does. But the nice thing is the way we structure practice, each of them get a chance to work with any 3 of them, or the 2 freshmen that we've got. So that's kind of just one of those things you got to work through. It is what it is. You look forward to getting on the field. Any pass play that's called, no matter who's throwing the ball, you should be, same breaking points, same commitment to the technique and fundamentals and how to get open. And now it's just a matter of boosting our completion percentage by getting our quarterbacks and wideouts kind of on the same page.
Okay, now let's flip it. You also deal with the special teams unit. Currently, the punt return unit is doing phenomenal. currently ranked 8th in the nation. Curtis Dewberry, was one of the great returners last year in the nation. What makes those guys click so well on the punt returns?
Yeah, it's a fun unit to be a part of. I think what we've installed and the scheme with it allows Curtis to be confident back there. He knows that it's a man scheme up front, and it's technique based, but it's not real hard. Certainly having Curtis, who's got the athletic ability, make a couple people miss and got some speed to take it up the side, makes it fun. Last week we came up with a block punt as well, which is a part of it that we wanted to add. Return that for a touchdown. So scoring on our special teams is a priority, and having our punt return unit that high in the nation as far as average is really an expectation.
Now, Curtis Dewberry, as we already said, one of the best returners in the nation. Is it just his athleticism that makes him so good, or is it, really the guys up front setting up those blocks?
I think it's a combination of both. We take a lot of time in coaching a returner. We take a lot of time in camp, and I think that's an area that some teams miss on a little bit. Studying flight of the ball, gaining field position, those type of issues you deal with the returner. And then we try to put speed on the field. We got a lot of defensive backs, a lot of linebackers. We got a running back. That's a catalyst for us really on that punt return unit. So if we can match up one-on-one and win the speed battle, I think Curtis knows that he's got some help in front of him to take it to the house.
Now, when punting the football, Cullen Fahey, your punter, stands back, and he stands behind a formation that's a little unorthodox. They're kind of spread out. You see some gaps, and you think, the defense could really get in there and almost block it. Now, in traditional, times, you see the max protect where they have 8 guys basically right in on the line of scrimmage. Why did you make the switch to doing the spread punt formation?
Well, it's something I looked at really 2 years ago, and something that I wanted to get kind of try. And when you install the techniques around it, the system that's built around the shield punt, I really like it, and it's working out really well for us. It gives the punter confidence because you got 1,000 pounds really in front of you with Matt Ulrich, Cullen McGuire, and Rashad Gaden. So that's kind of one of the funny things through the shield punt. You look for 1,000 pounds in those 3 guys in order to build a shield around, and we're almost there. And then you get really 6 gunners, we call them, flooding the field and understanding their lanes and coverage, and that's a little bit better than you would have with just 2 gunners. So I'm a big proponent. It's helped for us. It's been a big help for us here the past couple of years, and I think we'll continue to get better within our punt team.
Okay, and for the fans out there, throughout the recent football seasons, they've seen, when it comes down to a game-winning field goal or even an extra point try, you'd see the opposing team use a timeout late in the game to quote-unquote ice the opponent and the kicker. For you as a coach, do you think that affects your guys when they get iced in a late game situation?
Yeah, I think it depends on the kid. The kid you got at the kicker position. For us, I think Thomas Kinney would probably prefer to be iced. He's a pressure guy. He likes that type of mentality. So I don't really think it matters all that much, but it is a tactic. I would use it whenever possible because you get a kid thinking about that stroke. It's like hitting a putt. It's kind of the same thing. You start thinking about that putt, it's probably not going to go in, and sometimes it's the same mental deal with a kicker.
Now, you personally, you were a Warrior football player back in the early 2000s, field goal kicker. You hold multiple records here at Winona State University. You left and went and turned the team around. Albright College, going from 2 wins to 11 wins in one season. What did you learn when you were out there that you brought with you back to Winona State?
Sure. My time away was good. I fell into a pretty good situation within a football program that wasn't very good and then became good. We did that through the recruiting process. So really it was building a plan to develop a program and recruit kids that believed in the game of football, had a passion for it, loved it, and that you could develop over a 3 to 4 year period and get to be a very good football player. So those things kind of all put together. It was nice coming back to Winona knowing that you don't really have to build something. You can expand upon it and just kind of make it better. And that's what we're looking to do here is find the most talented football players, fit them into a position where they will be developed into a program that's been there before, and now let's just see how far we can take it.
All right, well, thank you, Coach, for joining me on the Tom Sawyer Show. When we return, Grant Wall will sit down with Brian Bradshaw.
Are you looking for great off-campus housing? Great River Management and Sales has a large selection of houses and apartments representing many of Winona's property owners. Owners and renters rely on Great River Management. Stop by the Great River Boat at Main and Broadway and see what we can do for you.
Financial startophobia. Fear of financial endeavors causing putting off till the day after tomorrow that which should have been done the day before yesterday.
If you have financial startophobia, I would recommend Merchants Bank. I had a little touch of financial startophobia, had a good recommendation, I went to the bank and had a great experience. Merchants Bank has personal service. I'm not afraid of anything. They've been around for over 130 years. You know who you're dealing with. Merchants Bank, the bank that's service built.
And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show. I'm joined now by quarterback Brian Bradshaw, linebacker Alex Kautza. Guys, it's great to have you here. We're going to talk about some really neat off-the-field stuff you guys are doing here in just a minute. But first, let's spend a little bit of time on the football field. Brian, we'll start with you. Saturday, hurt your foot, first series of the game, we're unable to come back. How's the wheel doing, and what's the diagnosis going forward?
Well, you know, obviously I was unable to come back last Saturday, but you know, I've spent some time with the athletic trainers, getting treatment, getting it checked out, and it's starting to heal, and it's starting to feel better day by day. So we'll just see how it goes this week in practice, test it out, see how it's feeling, and hopefully be ready to roll on Saturday. Absolutely,
that's good news as far as the offense is concerned. Although your replacement Alex Nelson played very well. The offense as a whole, though, has kind of struggled over the last couple weeks. What do you guys need to do to get things rolling again?
You know, I think we just need to go back to basics and, you know, just get that confidence back. And, you know, I think, you know, you can see glimpses of it when we get on track that, you know, we can be explosive. And, you know, I just think guys need to get that confidence and say, you know, look to me, I want to make that big play for us, and you know, I think that'll help us get back to where we need to be.
Absolutely, and Alex, you had an injury of your own at the beginning of the year, missed the first couple games of the season with a foot injury, but able to come back, play against Duluth on Saturday. That had to be a great feeling for you.
Yeah, definitely. It was amazing. I love this game. I think people close to me know how much it means to me, and just to be able to get out there and run around and help the team in any way I could was really just a blessing, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Made a tackle, got in on special teams back in that long snapper position. Defensively, team played well, limiting Duluth to 24 points against a explosive offense like they have is a good output. Were you happy with the way the defense played, and maybe, you know, you're always looking to improve? What can you do better?
I guess to answer your question, we're never really happy with how we play when we can't come up with a W. I mean, obviously we did some positive things, and we always take that away. But one of the things our coaches stress is just doing whatever we have to do to win the ball game. And so sometimes, you know, sometimes we're going to struggle, sometimes the offense is going to struggle, but collectively we have to find a way to win the game. So, I mean, I guess yes and no. I was happy with how we played. We're always happy with our attitude, and our effort this year has been tremendous. But at the same time, we struggled with some things, and there's always stuff we can improve on. So.
And going forward, this thing is still wide open. Everything's there for the taking. What's the message when you guys are together as a team this week? You know, what are you telling each other as you get ready for the game at Augustana?
You know, we're one team, and we're close, and there hasn't been any finger pointing at anyone. You know, it's just we just have talked about looking at yourself and saying, what can you do to help our team succeed? And you know, we're at a point right now this season where, you know, we're at a little bit of a crossroads. We're 3-3, and you know, we need to take that next step. And you know, I think the guys are motivated and ready to get back to work and to straighten the ship out.
Absolutely. Stepping off of the football field right now, something that you guys are very much a part of is the 48-hour practice. Alex, can you just kind of explain to everyone what the 48-hour practice is and kind of the good that you want to come out of it?
Yeah, absolutely. The 48-hour practice is an event we're doing on campus here, and it's actually a collaboration between the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and the Winona State student athlete body as a whole. And so for 48 hours straight, from noon on Tuesday this week till noon of Thursday, we'll be on campus. And all of the sports teams have a 2-hour time slot in which they'll be practicing on campus. Of course, it's an unofficial practice, but they'll be, kind of in their game gear and just throwing a football around or a baseball or whatever it may be. And I'm also just asking people walking by if they'd like to donate money to build wells in Africa. And that's our main mission of the organization, is just bringing clean water to literally thousands of people in Africa. Last year we were able to raise about $4,800 and dig 4 wells, and this year our goal is $6,000, enough to build 5 wells, which will literally affect thousands of people in Africa.
How did you guys get involved with something like 48-hour practice?
It started with one of the student athletes here named Eric Swan. His brother down at Wisconsin was a part of this event, and he brought it to Winona last year and asked Alex and I to be a part of that leadership team and to really head that up last year. And obviously he graduated last winter, and so Alex and I kind of took the reins along with a couple other student athletes and decided that we wanted to continue just this great event. Like Alex said, just the opportunity to have that impact on thousands of people.
I know both of you are very very proud of your community service and the things that you do. What drives you to be so community minded? Then there are student athletes all across this campus who are actively involved in the community, but the two of you specifically, what drives you to be so invested in the Winona community?
For me personally, the driving factor really in my life is my relationship with Jesus Christ. I mean, that inspires me to serve and to love those around me. And really, just beyond that, even just the fact of showing the people in the community we appreciate the support they give us. So just to really get out in the community, be active in schools, be active just with people that need help around the community, the elderly. It really is just, I just look at it as an opportunity, and it's something that I enjoy doing. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity to do it, and that's it.
I'm a lot like Alex. Just we were given a great example. My faith is the most important thing to me as well, and Jesus was that great example of serving other people. And we've been blessed with a great talent, and so when we get the opportunity to give back and help other people, we just want to take advantage of those. We're a family here in Winona, and we want to be a part of everything going on, not just on the football field. We want to be out getting to know people and kids and just having a good time.
So what are the two of your time slots for 48-hour practice? When can we see you guys on Central Campus?
Noon to 2 on Tuesday, and also 10 to midnight. We like to take the graveyard shift as a football team. I know last year we had guys running around playing night games and stuff just like little kids. So it's a fun event for athletes to be a part of, and yeah, we'll be around most of the time too with the other sports teams as well.
Absolutely. And so if you're on campus and run across any of the student athletes here at Winona State participating, make sure to stop and listen to them and what they're trying to do. And if you would like to be a part of the 48-hour practice and aren't in the Winona area, you can contact the WSU Athletic Department, and we'll be more than happy to help you and get you involved in that as well. Alex, Brian, thanks very much for joining us today, and we will see all of you. Hopefully, we'll see some of you in Augustana or in Sioux Falls this weekend, but we'll see everybody back here in Winona the weekend after that as the Warriors return home for homecoming. For everyone involved in the Tom Sawyer Show, I'm Grant Wall. Thanks very much for watching.